It's kind of interesting, the timing of all of this. But you also bring up a great point, and that is that whenever there is a crisis, there is also a banking consolidation. And that's what's happening right now. A lot of people are moving those that are paying attention anyway, are moving their funds out of the mid-range banks and the small banks into the big banks. But then there are the takeovers, like you just indicated, with HSBC taking over for SVB England or the UK for a pound. And that means isn't that danger then more concentrated?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the UK, in the US, there's over 4,000 banks, according to the FDIC. So it's still uh, quite, not so centralized, even though the big Wall Street banks and like the other GSIB banks are huge. But here in the UK, we only have 4 or 5 big banks. So we've already been centralized big time. I think the country that needs it more, not that it's a good thing, but in the perspective of the globalists, is the US. They'd want to see the US banking system probably just be a few big banks
It's easier to
in
control.
each Fed district.
Hmm. Yeah, it's easier to control. And there has been major consolidation, particularly since 2000, where they keep changing the regulations, and now this whole thing is being blamed on the Trump era deregulations of Dodd-Frank, which enabled more leverage, less oversight, and fewer investor protections. But quite honestly, when they wrote that, they hadn't written in all the laws. And by the time they basically completely dismantled it, except for the bail-in, there were still so many laws that had to be written, let alone not just written, but actually executed, that over this last, decade and a half or something like that, I've really frankly thought that was just a joke.
Yeah, I think if you're going to look at what Trump did, you need to look at what Bill Clinton did
Thank
with
you.
repealing Glass-Steagall and allowing commercial banks to be involved in derivatives. I think that was the biggest mistake, of course. And I
100%.
think, and there was just one person that she was the head of the CFTC at the time. I forgot her name.
Brooksley, uh,
Brooksley Born.
yes, Brooksley Born. Yep.
She tried to warn about that in Congress, and then Greenspan and Larry Summers, who we know is still around and is a good friend of that guy who, not want to mention names here, but yeah, they attacked her. They went after her and said, "No, what are you talking about?" And
Right.
and also Robert Rubin, he was involved in
Yes.
it because he
Citibank.
was, yeah, he was the Secretary of the Treasury under Clinton, and then Summers took over. But Rubin used to be the CEO of Goldman Sachs, and then he when they got the Glass-Steagall through, the bank that benefited the most was Citibank, and they gave him a position and paid him like over $100 million just for sitting in an office. And then when Citibank collapsed in '08, they made sure that he got paid. I mean, I would look more at that than I'm not too familiar with what deregulations Trump made, but now Biden came out, oh, we have to regulate the banks more
Right.
carefully, better. But this BTFP is goes totally against the truthfulness of the banking systems, basically telling that those FDIC reported losses that the banks have, you don't have to worry about them anymore. That would make it less transparent for people who put money in the bank. They have no idea if the bank is safe.
If you like this clip and you want to watch the full video, just click right here. And to subscribe, click right here.